Hello, welcome to this video. It's that time of the month again, and I'm choosing my TBR for March. My February TBR, which I've partly read, will be summarized again in an extra video. I'm still contemplating if I should keep doing it like that, like make a TBR for the month video and then a follow-up video on how I did and summarize the books, or if I should make one whole video out of it. I do not know. I will experiment a little bit with that. This time I will do things a little bit different than the last two times. The last two times I had the wheel pick most of my reads. This time I want to mix it up a little. And I picked two books from my physical TBR to make sure I'm getting it down a little bit. I love my physical TBR. Most of the books there are books I really want to read, and that's what I'm going to do. The first book I picked to be read in March is Project Hail Mary. I have been eyeing this book for a while now. Admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of this specific cover, but whatever. I have read a lot about it. I really want to read it. I think most people know what it's about. It's about an astronaut, a guy who wakes up, his memory fuzzy, his crewmates dead, etc. And he's just confused on what's going on, while in fact he's like the last chance humanity and the Earth has of survival. I recently have been really into sci-fi, and particularly hard sci-fi books. I definitely want to read this. This was pretty high on my priority TBR anyway. The second book I chose from my physical TBR is Can't Spell Present Without T. This is the Rainbow Crate Special Edition. This has been on my TBR for quite a time, and I always want to read it and somehow never pick it. And that's because I mostly let the wheel or some system choose my reads and not myself, and I really need to mix that up a little. This is a sapphic cozy fantasy, and cozy fantasy is one of my favorite genres. This is about two women, one of them a mage, one of them a former guard, who want to leave their lives behind and their very stressful lives and start anew by building this cozy bookshop slash, I think it's a cafe as well. It's tea. I just looked it up. I think it's tea. And I think it's about how it's hard to leave such a life behind and to leave the former responsibilities behind. But it's also supposed to have a lot of hurt and comfort and be really cozy. The third book I picked for this month is a sequel. I read the first book last month. It's Assistant to the Villain, and the follow-up is Apprentice to the Villain, which I want to read this month. It's the direct sequel, the follow-up of book one, which ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm still salty about that. But I really want to know how it's going to be resolved, how the conflict in book one is going to be resolved at the end of it. I want to see where the relationship between these two main characters is heading to, and the book also gives some cozy-ish vibes. I do not think that book one was really 100% cozy. Like the cliffhanger, for example, was a pretty stressful one, and I would not recommend that to someone who is really strictly looking for something cozy. But it definitely had cozy vibes. It's a romantasy, and as someone who's very picky with romanticists, I kind of like this, and I want to see how it continues. For the next book, I have decided to spin the wheel and see what it picks for me. I've already shuffled it a few times, but let's do that once more, and click spin. The wheel picked Dolce con Brio, and while I was not initially sure what it is, I had a feeling it would be an MM romance, and I was right. This is as I said, an romance, a contemporary romance. It's about a middle-aged high school band director, which I find pretty funny as a job. I find that cool. And he's pretty lonely and lives a quiet life while he enjoys his job. I think he also has to hide his sexuality. On the other hand, we have this other guy who is in his mid-20s and who feels lonely and like something is missing in his life. He's looking for that special someone, it seems. How they meet, I do not know. It says there's a cat escape. And apparently the younger guy's cat somehow adds to the meet cute or whatever. Also, the tagline says, includes nosy family members, fangirling students, sweet and fluffy romance, interspersed with steamy scenes and light BDSM, and one very spoiled cat. I think that sounds pretty fun. I want to read it. I own this as an ebook, which is perfect for me. It means I can just read it everywhere, anytime. Probably not anytime, but yeah, anywhere. This was book 4. I'm not coping so well with having too many books on my TBR. The thing is, 4 to 5 books are not an awful lot. I know a lot of people read much more. I can read much more, but the last 2 months have been so busy. I have lost both my parents in early January. My mother has been very, very ill, and she spent the last 2 months of her life in hospice care, and I was with her a lot, and reading was really just like an outlet and an escape to me. And unfortunately, after she passed, my father left only 5 or 6 days after her, and it was an insane time. I still have difficulties grasping it, and it's also the reason I wasn't able to be on top of my game in all areas of my life. I read much less than I usually do. I wasn't able to write as much as I usually do, and today was the first day since mid-December, that I actually cooked myself a meal. Until now, the last couple of weeks, I only had takeaway, something I could just grab, fast food, or friends took pity on me and actually brought me food, which is really I appreciate them so much. What I wanted to say is, I don't know how many books I should pick. I think I will go with 6 and just see how I'm going to do in a normal month, because the last 2 months were not normal. I have decided to pick a book from my priority TBR and have the number generator decide which book it will be. It will pick the number, and I will look into my Goodreads shelf and pick the book the number leads to. I added the minimum and maximum numbers. I have 71 books on my priority TBR, and we are going to pick a number now, and it's 29. I will now see which book 29 leads to. Oh, I'm so happy! Literally, oh my god, how cool is that? I cannot believe it. It was the book I would have picked if I had chosen another book from my physical shelf. Give me a moment. It's Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I've wanted to read this in quite a long time, and I am very, 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 very much looking forward to this. I think my TBR for March is so amazing. I can not believe it. I think we are at 5 books now. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, I'm not sure if I should even summarize the plot. It's about a professor who studies fairy folklore, and she travels, but she's not really good with social cues and all that stuff. She's a fantastic scholar, she's good at her field, at research, etc., but she's not good with people. However, she kinda clashes and meets with her academic rival, and I think they will start working together or whatever. I will see. I cannot wait to read this. So what are we going to do with my 6th book? I do not know. Should I have the wheel pick it? I think I was so lucky with the last 2 picks, because also the one prior to MM Romance is maybe not something I would have picked right now, because I forgot I had it on my TBR. You know, it's on my digital TBR, and my digital TBR is like forever. You know what? Shall we ask the wheel once more? I think it gives me the most variety to have the wheel decide. So let's spin it once more and see what happens. Da, 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 da. You know, whenever I say and speculate about what type of book it is, I end up wrong. I want to say Belladonna is a romantasy. But fact is, I am not sure. Good thing you'll all let me guess after the wheel picked Belladonna, because it is not a romantasy. I just knew I would be wrong, you know? Belladonna is a crime mystery. Now, when I looked the book up on Goodreads, there were like, I don't know, 20 books with the title Belladonna, and I had to check which one is the one I actually own. Like, yeah, awesome. So it's a murder mystery. From what I could tell, it's about our main character who is pretty done with murder cases. Apparently she was like a detective or something like this, I'm not sure. However, someone gets poisoned with one of the plants that were stolen from the main character's garden or plant collection. And apparently it's a very deathly poisonous plant. The tagline says, with a quirky protagonist, dark academia aesthetic, and an array of exotic poisonous plants, this unique spin on the classic murder mystery novel will hook fans. Gail Honeyman, Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine, Robert Thorogood's The Marlowe Murder Club, and Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club. This is some high praise. I mean, it sounds good. I think I am pretty sure I added it because it sounds pretty amazing. The only issue I have is that this is book 3 of a series. I do not know if I own book 1, and if I do not own it, I don't know why I bought book 3 first, or why I have it and not book 1, because there are 3 books and I apparently only own the last one. I really don't know why. Maybe it was in some sort of, you know, ebook sale or stuff your Kindle or whatever, I don't know, or might have just heard about it and bought it. Don't ask me. Alright, I just looked up the books, the chronology, etc. And as I said, I do not own book 1 of the series. I just checked it out. The ebook costs €13, which I think is a lot for an ebook. I'm so sorry, I think it's a lot. Like, I even hesitate to buy ebooks from very, very, very renowned authors, which are above 11 or 12 euros. Like, not for an ebook. I would rather grab a paperback then, or a second-hand paperback, or really toss in a few more bucks and then have the print version. I'm not sure if that's like a wrong trail of thoughts I don't know. So bottom line is, I do not know what I'm going to do. I will put the 3rd book on my TBR, and when I get to it in March, I will spontaneously decide if I will just read book 3. I will check the reviews beforehand to see if I can just read it, you know, or if I need to have previous knowledge. And then I will decide what I'm going to do. Either I will read the 3rd book because I own it, or I will, as we in German say, bite into the sour apple and deal with the price of the ebook and read the 1st book. I do not know yet. I'll see. So let's summarize what I do have on my TBR for March. I have Emily Wild's Encyclopedia of Fairies, a cozy fantasy, and Can't Spell Dresden Without T, another cozy fantasy with a sapphic romance. Then I have Apprentice to the Villain, which is a romantasy, book 2 of a series. Then I have Project Hail Mary, a sci-fi book. Then I have Belladonna, a murder mystery, it seems, with Dark Academia vibes, and Dolce con Brio, an MM romance. These are 6 books. I think it's a pretty good number. If I read more, I will just pick it spontaneously, or I will pick the book I didn't manage to read last month, because I'm pretty sure, although there are still a few days left of February, I'm pretty sure I will not make it through the whole list of last month, and I will just, if I have space left next month, I will just pick that one book that's going to be left to read. It's Till Summer Do Us Part. It's a contemporary romance and rom-com, which I actually really wanted to read. I will just see what happens in March. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Drink enough water, have fun reading, and we'll see each other in the catch-up, in the follow-up, to see how I did with the TBR. Bye!